this should be a pretty hype match. I'm really
I am hyped for this. This is going to be high level for sure. Both of these players are some of the strongest in the league, and it's PvZ, our favorite.
yes, definitely a good matchup. My matchup we both know quite a bit about, so being Protoss, myself, and Zerg for you, so this should be fun.
So here we go. Game number 5, Team Beast versus CWA on Aztec. Spawning on the left side of the map, we have Hot Dog as the, I guess that's a peach Protoss for Team Beast.
I believe the official color for it is tan.
Oh, tan. All right, we'll go with peach for now.
But yes, either way. On the right-hand side of the map, we have our purple Zerg. Pretty fitting for a Zerg, I would say. Hirmu from CWA.
The purple and tan on creep is going to be tough to distinguish, but we'll make it through. So yeah, PvZ on Aztec. This is one of the weirder maps that we threw in the pool. I tried to keep it mostly to ladder maps, and Aztec is certainly a standard map, you know, back in the day. But a lot of players who are coming back into StarCraft or had a gap or are new to it, they're not going to know this map very well. So I think it's been fun to see, you know, how people prepare for a map that they just not encountered ever.
Right away, I've noticed Hot Dog spawning in this, excuse me, location where it's fairly easy to put up a pylon wall. I mean, you put your pylon, forge, gateway on top. If she were to spawn in some of the other ones, the walls can be a little bit trickier. Just because it's hard to get something tight against that like cliff area. But as it is, she's going to be fine here, and she's actually going to go ahead and open gateway first here.
Now, this is not something we see a lot in the CPL. Gateway Expand is a much harder build to pull off just because you need to know, essentially you are ceding control and flow to the Zerg. You can be aggressive, but depending on how many Zerglings they make, depending on how the engagements go, you have to react appropriately or you will get overrun. Backstabs are possible, all sorts of things. You don't have that nice safe cannon to fall back to. It's just unit control. So this shows that she's confident in her control and her decision making. Hirmu, being a 3-player map, he's definitely going to scout this on time, and I'm sure he is well practiced at dealing with the gateway expands. But it's not something that we see a lot in the CPL.
Oh, very nice move, Hirmu, hiding the drone behind the minerals, though Hot Dog sees it just...
just barely gets it down. So both of these players already tiny little moves showing their skills off. You know, these are the kind of things that if you are a player looking to improve, you might not even notice that these little games are happening. But you know, if one player is not up to par, then you're going to see just dominating damage with just these first probes and drones. So this is great to see that it's staying even, and both players are up to the task.
Yeah, nice little moves there, as you said. Both players playing very aware. We have the first Zealot coming across from Hot Dog. We do have a few Lings out for Hirmu. We'll have to see how the control is. I don't think the Zealot is going to be able to find much damage. We already have 6 Lings out, and Hirmu is getting these Lings ready to intercept the Zealot.
Yep, and they're actually moving forward so that Zealot can't meet up with the probe, because the Zealot probe does a lot more in terms of number of hits required to kill a Zergling than just the Zealot. Plenty of Zerglings out, and not over-making Zerglings, I hope. Looks like up to a total of 8 now, which is totally fine. Hot Dog trying to take a position in minerals, but that really wasn't a funneling position. Now a little bit better, only 2 Zerglings can get on this Zealot, but 2 Zergling kills for a single Zealot, that is in Zerg's favor for sure.
So behind with this, we do have the Nexus about halfway done and the Forge started up. As long as the Zealots keep coming across, Zerg isn't going to really be able to counter, and Hot Dog should be able to get the cannons up in time and be safe.
Yeah, and we see Hirmu's actually transitioned into some drones. You know, he did really well in that first engagement, so he's perfectly happy to just sit on the amount of Zerglings he has. We also have a expansion at the far natural coming down for Hirmu, so he's looking to be in a nice position. And that actually, Zealot, I don't think he got any kills.
Yeah, so very nice trades coming out of Hirmu.
Yeah, he's defending this great. We have that wall going to be completed, so again, Hirmu's not going for some sort of aggressive attack to follow up with this, and Hot Dog will be totally safe with that cannon, but this damage that she's hoping to get with these Zealots really isn't there.
And Hirmu almost caught that Zealot up against the hatchery. Does pick off 1 drone, which is nice, but I don't think these Zealots have done, as you said, enough damage.
Yeah, one drone kill is good. I mean, all drones matter, but for 3 zealots worth, I think that Hirmu's going to come out on top on that exchange. Getting some value out of this zealot here, trying to kill a couple of the lings by getting good position in minerals, but Hirmu has reacted so well here. You know, he really cut the Zergling production just at the right time. I did see a couple of Zerglings died at the wall-in, so I think that was a mistake, probably baited over, but it looked like maybe only 2, so not the biggest deal. And Hirmu's going to have a full scout of the base, sees the core timing, should know exactly where he's at, and is probably feeling pretty comfortable.
Definitely, we do have the Maynard of probes just finishing here now for Hot Dog. She's getting up her 2 base economy going. The core just finished. Second gateway on the way, and meanwhile Hirmu is just getting his 3rd base up and running. Getting a sunken there. Well, I'm not sure about that, and starting his Spire.
Yeah, I think the Sunken is a little preemptive. Like, if you defended a 1 gate that early and you're already getting, you know, Zerglings up at the front, you don't necessarily need to invest in that Sunken right away, but it's certainly nice to play safe, and that might let him skimp on Zergling defense later on. So I think that's okay. We have the lair finished, Spire is on the way, and relative to the Stargate timing, I think Hirmu's actually pretty far ahead in terms of the tech.
Yeah, I mean, his defense of the Zealot harass, he didn't really take much damage from that, and was able to just keep his production going, stay with his build at the same time, which has given him a bit of an advantage here. Getting down that 4th hatchery, starting to sim up his 3rd base, and there's nothing really Hot Dog can do at the moment.
And one thing I will say, this being a 3-player map, it means that if Hirmu gets control of that top position and can adequately defend against whatever Hot Dog tries to do in the mid game, he'll have a majority of the bases available to him. You know, the option for a split map situation where a Protoss just waits out the Zerg really isn't going to be available if Hirmu keeps on to that top main.
Yeah. So the Spire is just finishing now, and the Sarah is being built, so the Sarah shouldn't be able to get any Overlord kills. Maybe it just attacks and kills the one in the main, and it looks like that's what Hot Dog's opting to go for rather than going for the scout.
Yeah, and I think that's a big mistake, to be honest. You know, doesn't really know anything about what Hirmu's doing, and really needs to be using this Corsair to scout. Luckily for her, Hirmu is going for a really standard play, so she'll be familiar with the situation, even without scouting it, but I really would love to see that Corsair make a beeline for the Zerg main.
Yeah, she does have a probe that just died at the Zerg 3rd, so she knows, okay, there's a couple of Sunkens here, there's some Sim City. She's aware of the 3rd base and probably assumes this is a standard play, but she doesn't know like if there's a Spire or a Hydra Den behind this, lurkers or anything.
Yep, and Hirmu sees the Zealot move out. There's a decent number of Zealots here. Hot Dog's macro has been on point. Actually, losing some Zerglings is kind of a big deal. Not really even killing a single Zealot there, that is a big mistake. But he should be adequately defended as long as he can get a couple more units to keep those Zealots off of these Sunkens.
Hirmu did pick off that first Corsair too with a couple of scripts, so that's always a nice win.
Yeah, I don't... +1 just kicking in. Zealots don't currently have leg upgrade yet, but I'm sure that's on the way. Really need some units to block the Sunkens. Really need to see the drones. This is absolutely critical that the Sunkens do not get surrounded here. Zergling's coming down from the main now, and this might just barely be enough to defend against this with proper micro.
Yeah, I think Hirmu's going to be fine against this, especially although he's actually still just making drones instead.
He needs to block those Sunkens off. Speed is finished for the Zealots. He needs to make sure that these Sunkens don't get surrounded. He needs to make sure these Zealots don't get in the main. Great drone drill. Needs to make sure he keeps that going. And Hot Dog's actually going to go straight for the Hydraless Den. I'm going to stop those Hydra upgrades from going down, but at the cost of a lot of Zealots.
Yeah, she still hasn't... Okay, she just gets it, but she did lose a lot of Zealots. They're still trying to get some damage done. I don't know if that was the best trade there for Hot Dog.
Yeah, it's tough because a Hydra Den is a really critical structure at this point in the game. You need to get those upgrades for the Hydras to become useful, and you want to start the Hydra Pump even, and both of those are not really available for Hirmu. He's going to have to stay on Lings for defense, but at the same time, you throwing away units for just a tech structure means that you're really weakening your mid-game power. Like, you're not making this position more attackable, and you're not killing any units off. So with that said, there's still a lot of Zealots coming in. That is a ton of speed Zealots to deal with, and 3 Sunkens is probably not going to be enough here.
Interestingly enough, Hirmu's continuing to make drones even with all these Zealots coming in. I'm not sure about that. I would like to see some more those Zerglings or some Hydras being made, but it looks... This is close. I mean, Hot Dog does get down one of those Sunkens. He's got a couple more morphing now, but trying to buy as much time as he can with these drones. He's losing so many drones in the
now
process.
He's starting to lose a lot of drones, exactly. Another Sunken morphs in, the Zerglings come up, so Hot Dog is going to lose all of these Zealots, and actually not really get any damage in the middle of the base, but has done plenty of damage at that natural, killing those drones off, killing a couple of Sunken. So that second attack was much better than the first one, and continuing to follow up with more and more Zealots. We're at 6 gates, it looks like, for Hot Dog, and Hirmu is defending, but he's already taken a ton of damage, and you have to wonder if he's going to be able to stabilize enough to contend in the mid game.
Yeah, because we do see Hot Dog's also got her third base finishing up here now. We don't see the Maynard yet, but I imagine we'll get that base mining very shortly.
Now we do have some mutas sitting here at the north base. Zealots actually kind of running around. They might be headed that direction. Doesn't quite look like they know where they're going yet. That might be a bad rally, which looks like Hot Dog is fixing now. Now Hirmu's has plenty of gas, but his mining has been so disrupted he doesn't have the minerals. But with such a zealot heavy army, these mutas are going to be really, really strong.
And Hot Dog is now going over to this third base of Hirmu. Going to see if he can get anything done. I don't know if he's going to find the damage here with the 4 Sunkens, but Hirmu doesn't have anything to really buffer for these Sunkens either. Yeah,
4 Sunkens is a little too much. As you say, there's nothing to really keep the Zealots away from them, but with the added DPS of the mutas, I think Hot Dog wasn't interested in taking that fight. I'm going to try to see if she can get any damage down at the south base, see if the defenses haven't been reinforced, but that is not the case. Hirmu's at 4 Sunkens and a ton of Zerglings. Needs to make sure he doesn't lose those Zerglings, and just keep those Zealots off of the Sunkens and he'll be fine.
Critically though, Hot Dog did see the mutas, so now she's starting to cannons up in her mineral lines, and these mutas aren't going to be able to find any damage there. But they could still be used to pick off some Templars or just deal damage to these Zealots on the map, because Hot Dog has basically no anti-air at the moment. She didn't remake any Corsairs, and she has no Archons or anything that shoots up, basically.
Yep, so once again, doing drone damage down here at the natural. All these Zealots are going to be cleaned up this time, still plenty of Sunkens left, and the number of Zealots are dwindling. And Muta's coming down to reinforce, but like you say, they've already been scouted, so the defenses at home are going to be totally fine. We are up to a grand total of 7 Mutalisks, and I don't know if they're going to find much damage. There's 4 cannons at the third, there's a cannon at the natural with an Archon, and there's 2 cannons in the main. So only 7 Mutalisks can't really deal with cannons too well. More Mutas are coming down, so it's possible with really good Muta micro that this could be a lot of damage, but those Archons and Storms are going to be tough to dodge.
We got a few Zealots running into the Sunkens here at the top base for Hirmu. Just all dying, and a random High Templar floating around there too.
Hirmu's also scouting around, sees the third base out for Hot Dog, taking his own 4th at a decent timing, consider the amount of pressure he's been under. And so we are going to shape up into a much more stable mid-game situation here. Actually going to go straight onto these cannons at the third base of Hot Dog, but there are reinforcements, Goons and Archons coming, and these mutas are going to have to run.
Looking to get maybe a few probe kills and then run out of there? Okay.
Yeah,
Didn't
so
really do the damage she was looking for.
Not a great amount of damage, but still some. 7 mutas can still take out these Templar, so a couple of Templar snipes would be absolutely critical here. Hot Dog also expanding again to this low ground base, which is going to be a little bit tougher to keep, but if she keeps the pressure up, you know, offense is a very good defense in this situation. And Hirmu's already indicated that he wants to turtle up. He's taking the far natural. He's got a lot of Sunkens. Hot Dog probably feels confident enough to just secure these bases with pressure at the fronts.
Yeah, and we see Hirmu continuing to produce Mutalisks here. I guess seeing the no Corsair play is what's prompting this. I'm not sure about this with the Goon numbers rising and the Archon. Ooh.
Storm does a decent amount of damage to the mutas, but also all of the High Templar have been taken out now. So you really don't have that available to you to break through the front. Goons are going to be able to do a lot of damage to that wall, but they really can't deal with the amount of... oh my, they're actually going to try to chase down these mutas. I was going to say they're not going to be able to deal with the amount of Lings that are presumably coming. Goons do very, very poorly against Lings, and I expect that at this stage of the game, there's nothing but Lings being produced for Hirmu to deal with this attack.
Yeah, if Hirmu can kind of trap this Protoss army in against his own base with the sunken help would do a lot, but there's only a few lings there coming. I thought there was a lot more, but now hot dogs are going to be able to start hammering down at this wall and breaking down the front. And Hirmu hasn't really been producing a lot of units still behind.
Yeah, I really want to see a bunch of lings. I mean, this is mostly goons, and Ling Muta can absolutely clean this up. There are no storms available. Nope, I take that back. Some High Templar just arrived, and that is going to complicate the situation quite a bit. He really needs to get a snipe on those storms, but it's very dangerous to attack into this many goons and potential storms with mutas.
Yeah, breaking down that hatch is going to give her a lot more surface.
Yeah, it looks like going for those Templar snipes, not quite finding it, and a wasted storm there. I'm not sure what that was, but still, there's quite a few units to contend with here. It's mostly mutas out from Hirmu, and he is going to go for some more Templar snipes. Going to find one, but taking a ton of damage. Most of the Sunkens are going down, and I don't see the reinforcements coming from the top base. It looks like it's only Muta. Really needs to be Lings.
Yeah, I think he just spent a lot of money on extra money on drones when he was pressure, and because of this, he didn't have enough units to really defend this. And now it looks like Hot Dog's going to break through, and Hirmu's going to call it the GG.
There's the GG, and I think that's also the effect of the amount of pressure that Hot Dog was putting on and the earlier damage. You know, you don't give a Zerg a breathing room to re-drone and get that econ up, then that mid-game attack gets really sharp. So with that, Hot Dog is going to win the series for Team Beast, and they are going to be the grand champions of CPL Season 2.
Yes. Congratulations to Team Beast. Well done. 4-1 win. They took out the champions from the season. Like CWA was looking unstoppable, but Team Beast bringing their AA plus game here in the playoffs. Yeah,
and you gotta say that's a testament to Team Beast's preparation in the game. Not to discredit CWA at all. They played an amazing series. You know, this has been a lot of really tight games, and it probably could have gone either way, but it is what it is, and we have our grand champions here. We are going to play the last match of Han versus Crane. That is a replay. And, you know, the CPL is not all about winning and losing. It's really about improvement, so we're going to do all the games we can. But that is the win for Team Beast.
Yes, congratulations once again to Team Beast, CPL Season 2 champions.